Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name's Joni Young if you're new here, and I'm an acrylic artist and instructor. Today I'm going to be showing you all step by step how to paint this angel. This is going to be my last painting of 2021. I'm sharing this all with you just before the new year. I want to say thank you all very much, and this is my gift to you. Okay, so we are working on an 18 by 24 canvas here that I've primed once with acrylic gesso. I'm going to be painting the first layer in slate gray. So you can use any gray you want, or just take a little bit of white and black and make your own. I've got it already poured out in a little dish here, and I'm going to cover the canvas, but I'm going to leave, I'm going to work my way around the outside in soft circles, making them smaller and smaller continuously until I get to right about here where I want it to be nice and bright. So I'll make sure that my brush is a little bit wet for this. So I'm just going to get my gray here. And like I said, I'm going to start around the side, all around the sides. And I'm going to start creating a circle or an oval shape. Now, a little bit more paint. And just start working my way around the edges where I left off here with the gray. And I'm going to start to slowly blend that in and fade it out towards the center here. I'm not worried about anything patchy going on because I know I'm going to be coming in with all those soft, heavenly looking clouds. You'll notice me switching from my left hand to my right hand sometimes. When I do this, it means my left hand and arm are getting sore and tired. And working on a large canvas like this is quite a workout. So you'll see me hop around from one hand to the other. I'm a little bit ambidextrous, but mostly left-handed. Okay, I'm gonna wash all of that paint out of my brush and then come in from the inside here and just softly fade it out. I just have a towel here where I just wipe off the excess little bit of paint if I need to. Okay, so now we have a nice glow and center of interest already just by doing this, having it a little darker and then getting lighter and lighter and fading. Okay, so I just took a few minutes to dry this off, and now we're ready to come in with some colors, and I've got them all here. I'll list them all below the description, or below the video in the description for you as well. So let's start with titanium white. I like titanium white because it's the coolest white and it makes some really pretty, my favorite shades of pastel colors, along with my Holbein or Holbein luminous neon series. So I've got neon orange, yellow warm, and pink. I've also got turquoise, bright aqua green, phthalo blue, light olive green, and dioxazine purple. Okay, so I'm ready to get started. Okay, so what I want to do is use a big blending brush or soft stipple brush. This one is a number 10, it's by Colorantic. And the first color I'm going to start using is my phthalo blue. So I'm just going to go right into phthalo blue with just a little bit of water in my brush. And I'm going to start along the bottom here, making little circles. The gray is a nice underpainting for all the colors we're going to use. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of white with that. And I'm going to start blending around little circles continuously with my brush. Okay, I'm going to come around on this side, do the same thing with a little bit more of that blue, white, and purple this time. I'm going to start to come over the blue. Blend them into one another. And then I'll take more purple and make this a little bit darker down here. Now I'm going to take blue and purple and go over this area here. A little bit more purple. Except phthalo blue is really, really dominant. It's really, really a strong color. So you'll need a little bit less of that and more of whatever you're mixing it with. Okay, now I'm going to go right into my pink. I'm going to start up here. Take some white. So I still have all those colors in my brush. And everything's just starting to blend into one another. And I'm going to use one of my softer mop brushes. This one's a 1-inch. And I'm just going to take a little bit more of that pink with some white. I'm just going to switch arms here, guys. Take a little bit more. Okay, then without washing my brush, over to my yellow warm. And I'm going to softly start coming around more towards the center here. Notice how as I get closer to the center, I'm adding more light, more white, and warmer colors. Light and warmth also help to draw you in. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit more white this time. A little bit of water on my brush, loosen that up. I may have to switch brushes. I'm not sure if I'm going to want to keep using this one. Now, sometimes, see, this is what will happen if you get them really wet. Luckily, I've got about 10 on hand here, so. Okay, I'll just take a little bit more pink, a little bit more white, and just come around here. Back over to my soft yellow warm. A lot of this is going to be covered up probably by the wings, but it's good to show you guys, and it's actually really fun to do. And you can even kind of make some soft rays like that at the same time. So I've still got some of this beautiful orange. I'm going to take some of that along with a little bit of yellow in my brush. And I'm going to come around here and do little scoops, little wiggly scoops, which is really easy to do with a round brush. So don't think that you have to cover the entire canvas. It's nice to have little bits of gray peeking through. I'm going to take a little bit of turquoise now with my white, and we'll come around in this area. And I'm going to start to let it work out into the orange up here. I'll bring a little bit of that down here as well. A little bit more of my light colors with some white. And we can start to layer a little bit up here. Okay, so now I'm going to take a small filbert brush, small for the size of canvas I'm using. This one's an 11 or 12. Anything a bit smaller or larger will work just fine. And I'm just going to get it a little bit wet, and I'm going to go into my light tinted white with either one of those warm colors. And I'm just going to start making little soft scoops. Now you can do this on a dry underpainting. You can wait for this all to dry if you want, or you can do it on a wet one. You might want to use a little bit less pressure painting wet on wet. I like painting wet on wet because I often say this in my videos, I get a lot of different colors and shades that way because you're picking up all those other ones. So I want it to feel like the angel is coming out of all these beautiful clouds, sort of like iridescence. And I want the feeling of this angel and the gift to you guys that I'm trying to send to you artistically through this painting. It's a gift of an angel of abundance, an angel of healing, love, and all the things that you're wanting right now and needing spiritually, health-wise, financially. Anybody struggling out there, I want this angel to bless you with that and comfort you. Now as we get out here towards the bottom of the canvas, I want the scoops to be a little bit bigger, and I'm going to go into those, whatever color I'm going into, I'm going to take a bit of white with it. And this is a very, very easy, relaxing process of the painting. Just picked up a little bit of water to help loosen that out of my brush. Back over to my purple, a little bit more purple with the water in my brush, white, and whatever is left in my brush. A little bit more white. Another thing that I'm going to be doing as well is when I come up to the orange here, I'm going to choose the complementary color, and it's going to be a bit of this bluey smoky purple. So I'll add little accents of that. I'll do the same for the color down here. So I'll use the warm orange and yellow and add that. A little bit more white now. I'm just making this up as I go along. I love to paint intuitively, so I have a feeling of what I want to bring across through this painting, but I'm doing it right now on the spot for you guys. And it could change into something a little bit different. Sometimes my paintings take on a life of their own. I'll have something in mind and then it just starts going its own way without me even realizing it. I'm kind of like, I don't know, a meditative state, not a trance, but sort of, I guess. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but maybe you guys watching can relate. And already, look, I didn't mean for this to happen, but it looks like it's got some kind of movement to it, doesn't it? Okay, and without washing my brush off, I'm going to go into my orange and my white. And I'm going to start bringing in a little bit in here. And a little bit of turquoise over my pink because that's complementary. Red and green. And turquoise also looks really, really nice with purple. Okay. And as we get up here, I'll be going into my purple, adding white, of course. See how pretty the two look together? They almost look like little birds too. They could be little birds or other little angels. That definitely has that feeling. I'm gonna rinse my brush out now because it's been a little while. And I'll go back in, orange and white. And I'll just pop a little bit of this in here. I've got another shade of yellow by my Holbein, Luminous Lemon, and it's a cool yellow. So I'm going to use a little bit of this as well. It's going to look really pretty in between my other yellow and my turquoise and blue. A little bit of each color. Oh, let's be a little bit more generous. Okay, so right in here, I'm going to start adding a little bit of it. We'll add a little bit from here as well. That I know most of it's probably going to be covered, but it's fun. Sometimes I don't worry about, oh, is this going to wreck the painting? I'm more about the enjoyment of it and the process of it. Okay, a little bit more white. Okay, just rinsing my brush out. I'm going to take a little bit more of my orange, and I'm going to take yellow with it and a little bit of white. And I'm just going to come kind of in between. You see how we make a different color? Actually, I've got this one here. I've got a liner brush, and this one is a number 1. I'm going to be doing the same kind of technique, maybe a little bit tighter and a few little highlights here and there. So I'm going to take that color again, a little bit of yellow and orange and white. And I'll be creating a few little brighter and tighter little wiggles in between here to keep them looking like heavenly clouds. And then just soften with my finger. Now down here, I've got my little bit of purple left, blue, and my light olive green. I want to create a little bit of a flowing stream or some foliage or something there. I'm going to use a number 2 fan brush, and I'm just going to go into that yellow and white, a little bit of turquoise. Maybe just a little bit more. Definitely need some water on your brush. And I'm just gonna kind of just start to wiggle and pull around here. So this represents all of your abundance and blessings flowing your way and flowing down to you. That's the best way I can kind of describe it. Okay, I'm going to use one of my stipple brushes here, and this one is a number 40, but you can use any size that you want. I just really love the way this brush feels. Just need a little bit more purple. A little bit of blue, purple, and green. That gives you a very nice, deep, rich, earthy color to start. I'm just going to have some around and amongst these little waterfalls. And just have it fade. Okay, I'm going to go right back in to that green, just green now. And I'm going to start adding some highlights. This is the green I'm using. I'm just about out of this actually. It's a really great color, Light Olive Green by Liquitex. It's great painting to finish it off with. Just reloading my brush here. I'm going to add a little bit of my neon yellow, a little bit of white, add a little bit of light up here, having it just start to ease off down here. All of these colors, like everything's going to dry a little bit darker, so try to be a little bit more generous with a bit more white in your highlights, and add a little bit more light in here. The idea is to just kind of have it disappear. Okay, then I'm going to go over to number 4, Filbert, and I'm going to make some really light highlights towards the top here, just little dabs. Just softening everything here so that there's that nice balance, right? It all just kind of fades and everything goes together. Okay, a little bit more white. Seeing a rainbow right here now. That was definitely not anything that I had envisioned. So here we go. I'm going to add some neon red. So I'm going to just go ahead and start this rainbow with a little bit of neon red and white. I'm just going to a little arch like that, just how I would do my bridges, right? And then I'm going to skip the orange and go to my yellow warm with white. You got to have the white in there, otherwise it won't show up because they're transparent. And add a little bit more red on the top just to brighten that up a little bit. Rainbows, especially little ones like this, can be a little bit finicky, as you can see. I'm just going to go over, there we go. I like using little filbert brushes for rainbows though. They are the easiest to handle for me. Liner brushes will be really challenging. Just FYI for you guys. Neon Yellow Cool with white is my next color. Whenever I'm adding my next color, I slightly overlap onto the one before. I'll just go back with a little bit of my yellow warm here. And the next color, turquoise, a little bit of white, and I'm going to overlap part of that yellow. There we go. And I need some phthalo blue. I'm all out of phthalo blue. I think the phthalo blue transitions nicely with the turquoise, and then to make a purple, when I add my purple over top of the phthalo blue, it also makes another beautiful shade of blue and purple underneath. So I'll show you what I mean here with a clean brush. A little bit of that phthalo. White, of course, you want to soften those colors. So I'll make this a little bit thicker, because I'm going to use part of it, half of it, to go over with my purple. And I'm actually not going to use the dioxazine purple. I'm going to use pink, neon pink, and I'm going to overlap it. You could use dioxazine purple, but we've already got that underneath. So it's not really going to show up. But by taking this neon pink and adding it over part of that blue, I'm going to make another shade in there that you'll have to look really closely to see. But all together, it's going to look really beautiful. And right underneath, I always soften just with a little bit of transparent white. The outside of the rainbow always has, it's always glowing a little bit. How's everybody doing? I like to check in with you guys during the video a few times. Just want to say thanks for being here and watching. Thank you for your support. If you're here for the live chat, hey, and thanks so much. I love talking with you guys in the live chats. And I really love connecting one-on-one with all of my followers, subscribers, and patrons. Okay, now I'm just going to go back over with my filbert brush again, and a little bit of that neon yellow, olive green, and white. Now this has had a little bit of time to dry. I can come over and add some more peaks to these little trees and bushes here. But I don't want to add too much light down here because we want this to be our focal point. We just want this to kind of help pull all that magic around together. See a little rock right there though, I'm just going to cover up with, I'm going to go over and put some moss over that. Some moss covered rocks down here. And let's see, I need a little bit more coming down there. A little bit more water flowing, blessings flowing your way for you guys. And I'm going to switch over to I've got an angle brush that I really like to use. Angle brushes are awesome for these tight little areas in here that I want to add a little bit more detail to with my waterfalls. So I'm just going to get a little bit of white on there. I was going to go into the yellow, but I'm not going to. See that? These brushes are so cool. So I've shown you guys a few different brushes that you can use. For creating water. And then over the rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow. But no, just adding a little transparent white over that rainbow that's dry now will make it look a little bit more glowy and soft. Now I'm going to add some beautiful sun rays and sunbeams, and then we'll add our angel after that. I'm going to use my large number 12 flat brush. I'm going to start from the center here, and I'm going to just go out, out, and I'm going to use white and water. This seems like a safe area. Like my palette I'm using, it's an acrylic tray. I'm all out of my paper palettes right now, so I'm just using this. And you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of both of my yellows. Tint my white just slightly. A little bit more water, and we'll see if this works. If it's too much paint, then I know I need a little bit water. If it's too watery, then I know I need a little bit more paint, okay? Okay, that's working. Just need to reload your brush often. Hope you guys are getting good, positive, comforting vibes from this painting. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is my way of saying thank you for everything you've done for me over the last few years that I started my channel. This channel has really changed my life, so I want to give back. And I express myself most comfortably through painting. You always want the center to be your starting point. Well, wherever your light source is coming from. So in this case, it's the center. But like, you don't want to start it from the outer edges. That's where you want it to fade. And if you're wondering what bristles are in my brush, synthetic. I prefer synthetic. So here, a little bit, whoops, a little bit too much paint. So I'm just going to take a bit of water and fix that. Then with a little towel, assuming this is dry down here, then you can come over and continue your sun rays. We're going to paint this very loosely. Don't have to worry about too much detail on the face or anything really. We just want to, I want the focus to be on the beautiful wings and the energy and her presence. Okay, we're going to start painting this angel now, and I'm going to use a number 9 filbert brush. You can use one a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger if you like. And I've just got my gray paint here that I'm going to start the outline with. So just a little bit of water on my brush and gray. And I'm just going to come in and block in the shape first. So we're going to have the head right about here. We'll just do a little misshapen circle. And then the neck, shoulder, the wings come up right about level with her head. Another shoulder down here. This will be some draping cloth. I'm not making this angel up. Well, I'm going to do my own thing with it, but there are a few beautiful, very old images of angels that I went through and looked at. We'll come around and add a little bit more shoulder here. So we have all those pretty colors underneath. So you can just come in and pull and flick for your little feathers. You're going to have all those pretty colors. I'm going to make it darker in this area here. See how quickly you can break it down into one step at a time with me like this and just create a beautiful symbolic angel here. Make sure it's dark enough before I start adding her arms. Okay, now I'm going to wash my brush right out, and I'm going to use a little bit of white here with some yellows, both my yellows. I'll start adding some wispy little feathers here along the top. And a little here and there. Add a little bit of light to her face, neck. Let's add a little bit of red in there with a white. And we'll balance this out with a little bit more skin colors as we go along. So I'm going to take more white this time. Really get it on the tip of my brush. A little bit more here. Then we'll start on her sleeve that comes down right about to there. And then the fabric comes out like that. Do the same thing on the other side. I make it brighter right here in the middle, so she's kind of glowing. I'm going to rinse that brush out and start fresh again. And I'm just going to add some little lines like this for the folds in her gown. And then the rest of her arm coming out here. She's got this gown and then a sleeve close to her hands, another layer of clothing under there. And then her hand will just be offering me blessings. It's all about blessings. So I want to have her hand come out on either side and open her hand out so that she can give you all of your blessings and healing. I'm going to add a little gold at the top here and a little bit of white. And create sort of a halo here around her. But I add another sun ray in here before. I'll go over that and fix that. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of gray again. I'm just going to come down with her neckline here. Some hair. I'm going to take a little bit of purple and blue with my gray. And I'm going to work on my shadows now. Just rinse my brush out. Take a little bit more of that blue, a little bit of turquoise and white. Back to my purple. A little bit more gray in there with my purple. A little bit of blue. A little bit more gray now. And try to keep this soft and feathery looking. I'm going to go over to my little liner brush again. Take some gray with my purple and some blue. And I'll just start making some more little lines for folds in her gown. I use more purple where I want it and need it to be really dark. I'm going to come in and soften and then add some highlights with my small filbert brush here. Okay, so I'm just going to take some white. Follow around these folds. Get really close to the outer edges of her shoulder, sleeve, and arm. And then pull in between for some folds and highlights on those folds. make her hair a little bit darker. I'm just going to take some orange with my purple. Okay, I'm going to go in and take some more white. I'll just do the same thing over here. Add a beautiful bright, bright glow. And her foot's in there. I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow and white. Just add a few feathers right in here along the outside just to make them, give them a little extra glow on the outside. And a little bit of shadows with some turquoise and purple, and a little bit of white in my brush. A little bit in here. Little shadow, just a hint of her foot there, and a shadow falling over it. Take a little bit of orange, some red. I'll add some pretty little feathers. Make them look kind of iridescent and shimmery. back to a little bit of turquoise and purple. I'm gonna come right under her face and her neck area, add a shadow. I'm gonna bring her hair down a little bit lower. I've got a 0, really small liner brush. And I'm just going to use a little bit of white and orange for the glow, a little bit more of a glow here on her face. And have the light come down on an angle like this. A little bit more white. Add a little bit of that warm peach to her hand. Just going to use a little bit of purple here to bring that up slightly. Okay, then I'm going to come in and add into the mouth here. And just 2 little loops for her. She's going to be looking down. We give her more of a chin. Just using my white and soft peach. For an ear there. More of a nose. A little highlight on her eyelid. And I'm just going to go back and add a little bit more to her hair here. Just make it come down a little bit lower. I'm going to add a few little dabs here for some gold around her neck. Add a little bit of gray in here. I'm having so much fun with this painting. I hope you guys are enjoying this. And I'll go around. It's another ring. Just using my filbert brush again with some white. highlight here for these feathers. Take a little bit of gray with my purple. A little bit more highlight coming in from here. Just a little bit of white and just flicking up like that. And then just fanning out slightly at the bottom. You could use a liner brush for this if you wanted. I'll switch over to a little liner brush. And outline the head in white. And just with a little bit of purple or gray, can add a little beak, dab for the eye. Just a few little shadows, and come back in with the white outline. And then in this hand, we'll just have some stars. add a little bit because I kind of forgot the rest of her sleeve down there, just so that it matches this one. That was just with a little bit of gray, a little bit of purple. Just for some shadows in there. Just about finished this one, and I'm really happy that I did this for you guys and I got to share this with you. And I hope you guys enjoy this one and then it brings you some comfort. Brings you comfort and blessings. And thank you again so much for all of your support and love on my channel over the years, as well as everywhere else, all your kindness and love. I appreciate it very, very much. This one's for you. Hope you guys have a wonderful holiday and all the best for the new year. Bye, everybody.